All right, guys. So there is some new news that has come out, and it looks like Captain America: Brave New World is going through more reshoots. Um, for people that don't know, Captain America: Brave New World has been one of those movies that has been in like uh, production hell for the past year or so. Like they basically shot the movie, and then they started doing test screenings for it, and people were like, "This sucks. This is poo caca." And so they were like, "Uh-oh, I guess we have to like reshoot pretty much the entire movie." And apparently now they're doing like test screenings again, and people are going like, "This sucks. This is poo caca." And now they're reshooting it yet again apparently. So let's actually read through this article here. Hold on, let me actually format this properly. All right. It really does seem like Marvel Studios is struggling to get Captain America: Brave New World to a place they're happy with, or at least a place they feel general audiences will be happy with. According to insider Daniel Richtman, a third round of test screenings for the movie recently took place, and yet again, the feedback was mostly negative. Richmond believes that more changes will now be required, but Marvel may have already taken care of the necessary additional photography. Reports that the fourth Cap adventure was set to undergo more reshoots recently confirmed when star Anthony Mackie was spotted shooting new scenes for the movie in LA. There was speculation that these might simply have been a few minor pickups, but it's starting to sound like they may have been more extensive. Is there a chance even more reshoots are scheduled? It's possible, but with Brave New World now less than 4 months from release, one would assume that Marvel is going to be under pressure to lock the movie down fairly soon. So, these are pictures here of those reshoots. Let's see. Captain America: Brave New World stars Anthony Mackie, Danny Ramirez, Shira Haas, Zosha Roquebor, Carl Lumbly with Giancarlo Esposito, Liv Tyler. I keep on forgetting that Liv Tyler is in this movie. Tim Blake Nelson and Harrison Ford. The film is directed by Julius Ona and produced by Kevin Feige and Nate Moore. Okay, a bunch of stuff. So, anyways, that's just like other information on the movie. But it's supposed to open in February, and they're apparently still doing reshoots. Here's the thing, right? I I mean, well, the first thing is that this is coming from Daniel Richmond. He's not Variety. He's not the Hollywood Reporter. He is one of these insider guys, and it's like, you kind of have to take all this with a grain of salt. But I mean, there are set photos there that proves that there are at least some amount of reshoots happening, like the article mentioned. Maybe it's just additional photography. But either way, the fact that we're now like 4 months away and they're still doing reshoots, that a little crazy, a little wacky, a little insane. I think that if and I'm about to get I wanted to make this video because I kind of want to like have a broader conversation about the MCU and what they should or shouldn't do in situations like this. I think that if it really is the case that this movie is just a disaster and you just can't get it to work, I think you have to Batgirl it. I think they have to, throw it away and do a tax write off. Now, admittedly, they're in deeper than Batgirl ever was because we never even saw a trailer for Batgirl. Like, we've seen multiple trailers for Captain America: Brave New World. Like, it would be a much bigger deal if for Disney to just be like, oh, never mind, April Fools, we're not no longer coming out, guys. It would be a much bigger deal for Disney to do that. But even with that being the case, we are now in a situation where Marvel has had some amount of momentum, right? They came out with Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a massive success. Everybody liked it. They then followed that up with Agatha All Along. Massive success. Everybody liked it. By the way, when I say everybody, I obviously don't mean literally everybody. So I don't need you going and be like, actually, I didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, that's fine. But, But following up it with a Disney Plus show, that's good. Great job. But like, you need to follow up Deadpool and Wolverine with another great movie, with another great theatrical release. And Captain America Brave New World, it just doesn't sound like it's going to be that movie. And I think it would be a mistake for them to for them to have Captain America Brave New World be that next movie. And if it's and like just the thing with the MCU right now is that they need to get back to where they once were, where pretty much every movie was going to be at the very least an enjoyable ride. Like there was a point in the MCU where like where the low point was like Thor: The Dark World. And honestly, I've gone back and watched that movie. I think the last time I watched it was like a few years ago. It's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely not the Marvel's bad. You know? So I think that the most important thing for Marvel right now, if they're going to get back to where they once were, it is just establishing a cadence of quality. And I know that people, you know, when it came to Batgirl, they were like, oh, the artists, the director, they deserve to have their art released for the public consumption because they worked hard on the art and you're treating it like a commodity. And it's like, that's all great that you feel that way. First of all, it is a commodity. Like, this is a business at the end of the day. Like, yes, they're pieces of art that we watch and we consume and we appreciate. But at the end of the day, like, yes, these, like, it is a business and business decisions often have to be made. Now, obviously, like, even from a business perspective, like, if you make the best movie, then you're going to do better business. So that in and of itself is an incentive to let artists cook, you know, a lot of the times, which, you know, and then we criticize, you know, studios like Sony for getting in the way of the artists and whatnot. And you know, we don't need to get into all of that. But like at the end of the day, a studio deciding that a movie didn't turn out well and then deciding to do like a tax write-off, I just don't view that as like an inherently bad thing. Like, I just don't. Like, as long as the director is paid for their time, it's like, okay, well, you were paid to make a good movie and you failed. I don't understand why you deserve to have your movie released. So there's that. Now, I think that's like the most drastic thing that they could do. I guess the other option that they might want to consider is swapping the release dates of Thunderbolts and Captain America. Because just judging by the trailers, it seems like Thunderbolts is going to be a really fun time. I think it just looks more coherent. It looks more competently made than Captain America Brave New World. And it doesn't have all of the behind the scenes baggage of Captain America Brave New World. And I think that that's something that they might want to consider doing, right? Like, swap Thunderbolts and Captain America, give Captain America a little more breathing room, and try to follow up Deadpool and Wolverine with a more surefire, like, box office success. Or not even necessarily box office success, but a more surefire, like, quality success. And so, hey, maybe if Captain America is a bit of a flub in terms of quality, at least we're gonna have like Fantastic Four right around the corner. I think one of those two things they should do. Either just scrap the movie entirely, do a tax write-off. It's gonna suck. Obviously, it's gonna be embarrassing because we've already put trailers out. But I think it's better than the alternative of putting out a disastrous movie that is just going to kill the momentum that you've been kind of building up with the MCU so far. And I think, man, I think it also just kind of speaks to, like, this movie is also just another example of just the problems that the MCU has had as of late. Like, the MCU does have a history of hiring inexperienced directors and then sort of like training them on the job in a sort of sense. Like the Russo brothers, for example, they directed like Yumi and Dupree in like episodes of, I think, Community. Before Kevin Feige hired them to do Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And similarly, Julius Ona, the director of Captain America: Brave New World, he'd only really directed like low budget indie movies, and then I think he also directed the Cloverfield Paradox, which apparently wasn't very good. And Kevin Feige was like, yeah, sure, come and direct Captain America: Brave New World. And the reason why it worked with the Russo brothers was because the Russo brothers, under the guidance of Kevin Feige, they were able to be kind of like trained and nurtured into becoming like competent directors. And by the way, even outside of the MCU, like when you look at the when you look at their competence, it also seems to be the case that they specifically work well when they are working with Kevin Feige. But when it came to Julius Ona, he was making Captain America: Brave New World under the version of the MCU that was putting out like fucking 6 or whatever, or like 4 MCU movies and like 6 or 9 MCU TV shows every single fucking year. And Kevin Feige simply didn't get the opportunity to like really work with Julius Ona and nurture him and, train him up or whatever, the way that he was able to do with the Russo brothers. And so I think that's probably a big reason as to why Captain America: Brave New World is seemingly not come out as well as they had hoped. I think it's because of just the MCU machine not working as intended. And in the past, obviously, they've kind of just like pushed through it, and they put out like movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and movies like The Marvels. But I think we're now at a point with the MCU where they can't afford to keep putting movies out like that. So we shall see. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.